Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geezers, geeks, and people who are quarantined currently at the moment. Remain indoors. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. And as always on these podcasting journeys, I've got a fat man and a ginger person. Say hello, Nige.
Yeah, hello, everyone.
And say hello, Keith.
Hello. I mean, Nigel, you've got to be used to this quarantine stuff because you're always on your boat, stuck in that little cabin, going out to get your fish fingers. This self-quarantine malarkey, social distancing is normal for you, isn't it?
You do realise fish fingers don't come from the sea.
Don't ruin it.
Okay, all right.
You don't have to fish them out.
Anyway, that's why
the magic.
Anyway, on this week's show, we will be talking about Wonder Woman, Apple and Disney, Amazon's The Boys, the road to PS5 and the Xbox X series, and then we'll have a nice chat about Marvel's New Warriors, and then we'll do some reviews. So I'll talk about Doom Eternal. Keith will talk about Westworld, and then we've got our wonderful ending story. So stay tuned.
We do have to mention Picard as well because I just need to just let off about how dumb.
Then save it for the end, and we'll do it then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the first thing we'll be talking about Wonder Woman, 1984. Apparently, due to everyone being locked up inside, due to the Wuhan coronavirus, which apparently, according to Keith, gets people chucked off of YouTube, if we were that lucky, that Wonder Woman is going to be considered for digital release rather than actual release. One of the, I can't remember it now, a guy called Chris Rover, who's the director, is kind of dead against it, but the heads at Warner Brothers are looking at it thinking this might be the way forward. Now, apparently, people who have seen Wonder Woman in test screenings have described it as a bit shit. So it may be good for an experiment. There's rumors about Black Widow getting put onto Disney Plus too, because everyone's going to be at home during the release window. That might work for Disney Plus because it may drive a few subscriptions up. When you think about it, if you get 1 month subscription out of everyone, that's a lot of money they don't have to share with the cinemas. And they can, push forward on that. So, monkeys, what do you think about cinema releases being moved to digital, namely Wonder Woman and Black Widow?
In the States, they've been releasing them on rental for $20 a pop, and it lasts 48 hours. Black Widow's been pushed back and has no confirmed release date, but they're not just releasing them straight to the streaming services. They're releasing them on this, you pay a premium rate, you can rent the movie. I believe that one of the new Troll films is following that suit. The Invisible Man is going to be on $20, but this is only in the States. They haven't done anything or announced anything for the UK so far as I'm aware, or the rest of the world. So I find it highly unlikely Marvel will follow suit. It'd be interesting to see if they do this with Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman was a big film. I think they'll just delay it like they've done with Bond.
But according to test screenings, this one is a bit shit because it has a Dallas-style ending to it. Because it's, how can I put it? It gets wished away at the end. No spoilers intended, but. Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but if the film's tested poorly, then and there's an option just to push things out, it might be something to try. There's been rumblings of this moving this way for a good long while, and we do get certain films that we can get at home at the same time as they're in the cinema in this country. Very rare. I think I've seen like 4 of them. Most of them are British made rather than rather than the big American ones. But it may have a push because Disney Plus launches Monday here in the UK. So I get to watch The Mandalorian legitimately rather than sailing the high seas in order to get there. But hey, it's the world's about to change, whether we like it or fucking not.
I mean, I can see why studios are milling this over, but right now, we don't know how long we're going to be locked up inside. We don't know anything. So, I know that they brought up or they're bringing up early releases of certain movies. I think they put out Rise of the Soy Walker, and Frozen 2, I believe, is available. It certainly is here on one of the streaming services here. Because we watched it last night.
It's on Amazon at the moment, Frozen 2. But Frozen 2 didn't do that well. It wasn't a very well received.
I heard differently, but I don't know what the box office takings were on it. So it can't have been that great because they weren't singing and dancing about it.
No, I don't think it
Are the kids singing songs from the second film?
No.
Then it's not.
They tried. They tried. There's rumours that they ripped off a few songs from other things. I can't remember what it was now. But the long and short of it is, I think that we are going to get a few, depending on how long the incident occurs, we're going to get a few of these big films being released at home. The price will be high.
Sorry, you broke up then. The question is of how they do it, but I think you're right. The price will be higher.
20 would be nice, but I imagine 30, 40, 50. I imagine some of them might even push for fucking 50 in places. So, yeah, we'll see. And plus, we need to know where they're getting distributed from. Amazon's a good point to be distributed from because everyone's pretty much got Amazon one way or another, because you can get the Prime thing without having to have a Prime account. So they could distribute it via that. Can't really do it via Netflix because there isn't a pay to watch and a video on demand. Virgin Media, you could do it across them because there's quite a big install base in the UK, but that doesn't quite work for everyone else in the world. So how they're going to do this is something else. But it's going to be interesting finding out because this is going to change the way we do things. It's annoying because I've got a decent cinema near me and I can't go and watch anything. And I wanted to go and watch Bloodshot. And that's probably just going to disappear now.
That's getting a $20 release. That one is getting a $20. Yeah, that one is getting a $20 release in the States. I just don't know where you get it from. All I know is that it's $20, 48-hour rental. So you're not buying the film, but you're paying an additional fee just to rent it. It's quite expensive, but they have to claw some of the costing back. I hope this isn't the.
Yeah, well. It might be the beginning of the end, but hey,
it's the beginning of the end for Keith's internet.
It is because it's internet. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my internet's been utterly shot.
It's been shite for months, mate. I reckon that your internet is being carried over a single copper wire. If you check the box, it's probably just where the cable's supposed to be in. It's probably dangling by a single copper wire.
And every time he does a speed test, he goes, "Oh wow, 100 gig download," but it's not. It's just something that they
seems to ever do this around about this time on a Sunday. It's really annoying.
It probably does it a lot more, but you don't notice as much. Okay, so the next topic, and hello, Gavin. How are we doing? The next topic is Apple looking to acquire Disney. I've seen this one floating around a lot, and it's bullshit. I know Disney stocks dropped and whatnot, but there are rules in how much of the media you can control. And if Apple bought stocks in Disney, given the fact that they control a big chunk of music with Apple Music, they control all the phones, the app stores, and all this stuff, the government would come in and say, you can buy it, but you've got to split up. And I don't think they want that. And I'm surprised Apple hasn't been split up already, given the size of the company and the value of the company. But it's probably because they don't have a complete monopoly on everything at the moment, where Disney is getting close to having a complete monopoly. If they buy another studio or something, then they can say they own the entire fucking film industry. Well, I say entire, I mean the majority of it.
So if Disney buy Universal, then
they'll get in the shit. that's it. They'll get in the shit because they own too much. It's really weird because this is complete speculation, and they do it to play around with the stock prices to try to either G up the cost or bring it down or do something with it. And it's just some guy in some office somewhere saying, hey, wouldn't it be funny if Disney was bought out by Apple? And then they speak to someone and then they spread it and then someone else spreads it. And it hasn't really come from anywhere. And if Apple were to buy anything, they would probably buy a studio from Disney rather than buy like a big chunk of Disney. They would buy a studio from, so they'd sell it. They could buy Star Wars, for example. I don't think they would buy Star Wars, but they'd buy Star Wars, for example, and then they control all of the stuff around Star Wars. They have the abilities to G it up and put it out. The other side of it too is Disney's kind of infusing all their politics into stuff, which is kind of ruining their business, and they're going to feel it now with the incident occurring, where things like ESPN, which is a sports network, has had a lot of politics injected into it, and it's scared a ton of American viewers off because it just wanted to sit down and watch some people play a fucking game of American football, basketball, baseball, without having politics shoved down their throat. They just wanted to watch a fucking game. And Disney didn't understand this at first, and they tried to reel it back in, but ESPN lost a lot of viewers because of this. And it is worrying because if Apple bought them, Apple have very similar politics to Disney, and they would probably carry on doing this, and they probably want to driving it down. Yeah, that Tim, whatever is it, Tim Rice? Not Tim Rice. Tim Rice is the composer. What's his name? Tim, the guy who's in charge of Apple.
Cook.
Tim Cook.
Tim Cook. Thank you very much, Nigel. Tim Cook. It comes across as a horrible fucking individual. He really does. It's like kind of he would be a bishop in another lifetime. Yeah, he would be a bishop in another lifetime. I don't know. He's not very technical. He's not like Steve Jobs. He's just, we'll put the price up. That's how we'll make our margins and whatnot.
Arguably, Jobs at the time always said that his skill set was in the supply chain. But certainly he does not have the attention to detail or the obsession that Jobs had, certainly. But Apple TV is just woke as fuck. It's beyond partisan politics. It is pushing such an agenda. It's unbelievable. But this rumor about them buying Disney, they've been in the market to buy a big firm for a while. They tried to get Netflix and failed. Disney is arguably a much bigger acquisition, but I wouldn't put it beyond them. It's not like they don't have the money.
Yeah, but as I said, people will get involved, and that's the worrying thing. All right. So, hello again, Gavin. So
he's talking about barbecue, and he's making my bloody lips mad. It's like barbecue.
Every time I mention barbecue,
I've ordered a barbecue for my new patio.
Is it a Weber? It doesn't count. Well. It's not Weber.
Yes, I've ordered a Weber. My wife went mad because I spent a fucking small fortune on the barbecue, and she thinks I can get half a drum and put a grill on it. I was like, no. We're doing this properly. We're getting a proper barbecue. I'm going to get some proper fucking burgers on there. And unfortunately, I went to our local shop the other day, and they had sausages. They were Richmond sausages, and I'm not joking.
Oh, that will kill Gav.
Oh, dude, you managed. They were.
I didn't buy them. I found a decent version. Yeah,
Thailand.
The amount of times we put sausages on the barbecue and Gav's turned up and he's gone, "What are they? Oh, they're not Richmond's, mate. No, don't worry." And then he eats them.
Well, okay. Moving on to talking about big companies and whatnot. Amazon's The Boys. How can I put it? The gender swapping one of the characters in there. There's a character called Stormfront, who is neo-Nazi. How can I put it? A neo-Nazi villain who has very. It's not going to say right-leaning. I would say bad politics about him, and they've swapped him over to make him a woman and made her a feminist at the same time. So I'm picturing a feminazi. Now, I don't know. I'm hoping. I really am hoping that this is going to be, how can I put it, a piss take sort of thing, and not a genuine political swap because we need diversity, because that always fucking turns out really well. Because if it is, then they're taking the piss out of feminism and this, that, and the other. I think it was going to be really good. He's got a few powers and stuff. He's got fly, limited control of the weather. He can shoot lightning out of his mouth. He likes killing people left, right, and centre. He's the only person who can stand up to Homelander because of his powers. He also apparently is the source of Compound V because he was experimented on by some Nazis, which gave him his power. If I've understood that correctly, I may have the wrong end of the stick on that one.
I thought the geezer that wears a mask, I can't remember his name, in The Boys Can Stand Up to Homelander.
We're not supposed to know that. Black Noir is you're not. That's a spoiler.
I've read the comics. How can I? I've read the comics.
Spoiler, because you know who Black Noir is.
Yes, I do. I wasn't going there.
Okay.
I don't know who Black Noir is. So, you know when you were telling about the abilities, you were saying he can shoot lightning out of his, and you paused for just a microsecond. My head went arse. He shoots lightning out of his arse.
I wouldn't put it past the boys. I wouldn't put it past that.
Right, don't. This is a funny thing because I've got a friend Carl, and when we play Xbox Online together, I can hear his mum in the background, and she breaks wind like a beast. I call her the Beast, and then I make a joke that she eats batteries and shits lightning. That just cropped in my head when we were talking.
Acid farts, mate.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in two minds about the whole thing. I'm hoping it is a play on the whole kind of the whole feminist sort of thing. Because if it's not, then bye boys. Thank you. You went woke and broke all at the same time. But given the nature of the way they do things, I don't know.
If it ain't broke, don't woke it.
Yeah, don't bloody woke it.
Yeah, but they keep pandering to the Twitterati, don't they? And I mean, dear God, some of the stuff this week with these Twitter people. You know, they this has really peeved me off because I was apparently the Mandalorian has cast Ahsoka Tano, and it is Rosaria Dawson. But because she has made some comments that could be interpreted as transphobic, God, I've made far worse comments, and I am not what I would say transphobic. Anyway, they're all now boycotting her being cast in the role. These white people, these white SJWs, because most of them are white, are having a go at a coloured lady being cast in a role because she's transphobic, which apparently stumps the other thing.
Right. Like when it comes to that character, I think 10 years ago she would have been absolutely perfect for it. So as long as they make that character a lot fucking older.
But she is older because this is set.
Yeah, but it's an alien, doesn't age the same rate as everyone else.
Yeah, but she is going to be older, so I think it's going to work. And I definitely want to see a live action of Ahsoka Tano. And I think Rosaria Dawson is perfect for the role. But I have a feeling that she is going to be dropped because of these wankers on Twitter that just you're never going to please these people. There is no point in pandering to them because they will never be happy. They will always find something. And what they try to do is silence you if they don't agree. And they are, in effect, a form of Nazi. And they can fuck off. They really can. This is why I'm not on Twitter. I don't use Twitter. I vehemently disagree with it now because I just think it's a breeding ground for fucking morons.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to our next story. I pressed the wrong button. Still haven't got used to controlling this. There it is. So Thank you, Nigel. I think you did that. Now, due to the coronavirus, the guys at Sony...
Ooh, don't say that word.
Doesn't matter. The corona, the Wuhan virus. The guys
That's even worse.
No, the Wuhan virus is fine because that's where it fucking came from, Wuhan. Sony put out a press conference, which was originally supposed to be for GDC. Now, your favourite person in the world, Keith, Mark Cerny, who kind of looks like...
Look at his fucking haircut.
Right, hang on a second.
Creepy motherfucker.
He looks like Dana Carvey from Wayne's World when you look at him. If you go back to a shot of him.
Oh, he does a bit.
He looks like Dana Carvey's younger brother.
These days, he is looking more like him, yeah. But I don't know what it is with Sony and Microsoft. They both got creepy fucking guys in charge of their shit. Because Microsoft have got that Windows guy that's fucking freaky.
Oh, okay. That's the thing is, the guy is genuinely a genius.
Oh, he is.
He's an actual genius, and you don't get very many people who you can describe as genius. Now, the thing that creeped me out about everyone's complaining about the conference because they were expecting proper marketing stuff. This was not intended for general public. This was intended for developers. They were trying to sell this to developers. Because Microsoft came out with their stats, and we'll go through both stats in a moment. But the creepiest thing about this presentation are these people here. Can you see these people here that along the bottom?
Yeah.
They look like cardboard cutouts.
I think that this is an overlay, because only one person, the guy who's directly on the left, moved during the entire conference. I watched the conference, and I'll be honest with you.
Was this was streamed last week? I have a feeling there was no audience there, and they're just trying to make an audience there to make it feel less.
I do think that they did that, but only one person in the entire audience moved, and that's why you're right. I think it was faked. Oh my god, that's absolutely terrible. But some of the stuff that the guy was going through, and the conversations about how they were dealing with it, and how they deal with memory management and game storage and stuff like that. Really enlightening, really interesting, and I did find it fascinating because he did go through a lot of stuff that
it was made for you.
It was made
it was made for you. I watched a good proportion of it, and I found it very interesting. But I can see why a lot of people bitch and moan because it was uber geeky.
Dude, he was like he was talking about power consumption during processing,
yes,
and balancing it out so it only to try and not have the fan at such a fucking loud noise. Because he was going, I play God of War. And when I play God of War, I knew when God of War is because I can hear the fucking fan spool up.
I've been playing Jedi Fallen Order, and literally you just run around, and the fan is just so fucking loud. It's ridiculous. Yeah, but you even go into the save screen and it's like that, and you just think
that game is a big old game. And I saw some YouTube videos on it taxing because you got a PS4 Pro, haven't you?
Yeah,
because your CD-ROM broke.
Yeah,
and I've heard it taxes the hell out of the Pro as well, but it is a bloody good looking game.
Oh, it looks great, plays great, and I've been playing the Warframe as well. Is it Warframe? No, that Call of Duty one as well.
Oh,
the new one that's just come out, and it's free to play, so anyone with PlayStation or whatever Xbox can play it. And that as well, even in the menus, when it first loads up and goes into menu, the fan goes into overdrive, and to hear if you've got the sound coming through the sound system or the TV or whatever, you've got to turn it right up just to hear it over the top of the fan. Wear your noise cancelling headphones and, a bit better. But yeah, they've got to do something about the fan in the next iteration.
But the guy was talking about how to get the cooling down and how the memory you can use if you do it right, you can use the hard drive hardware in combination with the RAM. So it's like having a big fucking huge block of RAM rather than having just your 8 gigs over here. You have your 16 gigs of your active, and then the hard drive runs quite fast. And unlike the Xbox, doesn't have like a bottleneck in it, because the Xbox has got, they're saying, oh, it runs really fast, and then it's like, but over here it runs really slow. It's like, guys, come on, man, put your shit together. But they built a custom controller to try and sort it out. I love the fact that he admitted that by the end of the year, because he was looking at the PCI Express 3 and the SSDs that attached to that, and the speed that they were going through was about 5 gigs. No, it was 5 gigs, 3 gigabytes a second, and that's a full 3 gigabytes a second.
I was surprised that they're using SSD and not NVMe.
No, they are using it. They're using their custom version of an SSD, which is closer to an NMV. And if you want to expand it, you can put an NMV SSD in. I can't say
it. NVMe. Yeah,
you can't even say it either.
It's a tongue twister.
It is a tongue
But it is. I will give it this: when you put one in a computer, fuck me, is it fast?
I think it's going to be like a little cartridge thing, isn't it? That just sort of plugs into the back and gives you that extra capacity.
It is a. What do you call it? It is a. It's like a slug. It looks like a chunk of RAM, but it works blisteringly fast.
Is it going to have the right speed? Because I know the Xbox Series is using full-on NVMe. Because there was a thing about it in the industry that I work in, talking about NVMe, and that the Xbox is using it. It is like NVMe, but I'd be surprised if it gets the same write speeds. But look, I mean, I know we're going to go through the specs. I looked at the specs last week. On paper, the Xbox looks faster, but I have a sneaking suspicion that the PS5.
I've got the perfect analogy for it. And I think I've already told Nigel about the perfect analogy for it. Anyway, it looks interesting. He does know what he's talking about. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, you're fucking wrong. This wasn't intended for you. They'll put out a more marketable, exciting thing.
Jeremy, I like the guy, but he's got a career out of bitching and moaning about everything. And that's what he does. He's a bit like Doomcock, and at times I agree with him, and at other times I don't. This is why I quite like Gary, because he's a bit tamer than the others. Although he fucking lost it this week about Marvel, which I don't blame him for, because when I saw it, I just went,
well, that's save it for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the wrong end of the stick. This presentation was purely to talk to developers like they would anyway, and typically what we would get at E3 isn't going to happen this year. And so these people who usually go to E3 and get the things from Sony there have come over and gone, well, listen to this. And then they didn't understand most of it because it wasn't directed to them. They were expecting an E3 thing. They didn't get it. And they got the wrong aim.
Sony didn't do a lot to dissuade people from watching it. I mean, I found it very interesting.
Why would they dissuade people from watching it? They came out and they said, this was the presentation that we were supposed to do at GDC. But we thought you might be interested in it. Here's Mark Cerny to explain. And he came up and he got his
they haven't released
his thing.
I don't think Sony's done anything.
You're going to have a lot of fans that are going to be sort of salivating that anything that says PS5, anything that comes out of Sony with a video of PS5 on it, people are going to be salivating a bit because PS5. This is the first thing that Sony have released. Arguably, they should have done a launch event online first. I can see what. Hang on, I can see why people are pissed about it.
No, because you go to the developers first. You have all your end users, yeah. You have the retail people who will sell it.
True.
People who are going to have the console in their hands in the end, and then you have the developers and the software makers and the middleware makers and all those people. And it was to the software developers and the middleware makers. This was their sales point.
I agree with you, but they didn't.
Why
put it out in public?
It's only backfired by morons. If you thought
I can't see your argument, Keith.
I can't see your argument.
Like these Twitter people.
I found it interesting, but I can understand why people were disappointed. I mean, it's the same thing that they did when they released the PS4 and did that flashy event. And I won't go back to this and didn't show the console. And it's almost like they're making missteps again. There's been bad press about it.
I'll be honest with you.
Hang on, before you jump down, I found it interesting and I enjoyed it. I haven't got a complaint about it because I was sitting there sort of, going, oh, this is fucking nice hardware you've got there. And I found it very interesting. But I can see why people were disappointed. And look, there is an argument to be said that they could have marketed it slightly different. But I know where you guys are coming from as well. I'm just saying. But yeah, Jeremy's response was over the top. I will agree on that.
It was.
I think it's the poorly educated jumping to conclusions yet again and making things worse than they actually are.
Okay. Oh, are you saying something about something else? And on
It's
that,
the theme at the moment.
Let's have a look at the specs. All right, and right here comes my analogy. All right, the Xbox X Series is a muscle car. Yeah. It can do a quarter mile drag race and win. The PlayStation 5 is a Japanese version of a muscle car, which is probably a sports car. So it's something you get from Nissan or Mitsubishi or someone like that.
And it's got a smaller engine. However, it's got a bit of a turbo in it.
Yeah.
What we're talking about there is the bottleneck isn't the same.
Yeah, that is exact bang on nice. The key here is look at the data the throughput. Look at it is fucking double on the PS4 5. Double.
Yeah. Mark Cerny did the sensible thing. He went to developers and said, "What's your biggest problem?" And they turned around and said, "We need an SSD." And he went, "I will give you an SSD. I'll give you the best fucking SSD you could possibly have." And I think he went out of his way. And I think this is the bit that might win over games developers more than the raw horsepower that you've got on the Xbox One. So it's going to be interesting. That's the good thing.
I think the throughput's going to have a massive advantage, and it depends if they do. What? I mean, the GPU they've got in there that's arguably less powerful than the Xbox, but throughput is double, so you can do GPU offloading, and I think the PS5 is going to probably come out more powerful in the long run. So you're right. I think your analogy is bang on.
It's all about how things are working well together.
Yeah.
You don't want a bottleneck. It's like if you're building a PC, if your graphics card is amazing but your CPU is a little bit old and a bit shit, you've got a bottleneck on your CPU. So in order to get the most of your computer, you need to upgrade your CPU. You need to get a new one, upgrade it at the same level.
Yeah, but the CPU speed is not so much the key now. You can have like a 3.2 gigahertz chip, which is arguably a fuck's like more powerful than a 4.2
multi-threaded ones.
Yeah, exactly.
You get more threads. But when you, if you see what I mean, like, for example, a lot of the time, I'll use the most basic check, and that is the Windows 7. I don't know if Windows 10 has got one. They've got that Windows index, speed index thing, and you can tell it to. It was always your hard drive, which was the lowest rated, like 5.3, 5.9 or whatever. Yeah. So the highest you can get is 7.9. And it would, so your hard drive being a spinny disk type, the old spindle type, that would be your bottleneck. If you've got a good CPU and a good This, once you upgrade to an SSD, you've removed
it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference because my old man's got a 10-year-old iMac. I bunged an SSD in there 4 years ago, and he's still using it now. It still runs really well.
All right,
look at my PC now.
I'm just gonna say it's gonna be fascinating because if you look at games developers, say as race car companies, you are gonna get your Formula One kind of people, and they'll do the PlayStation, and then you're going to get your fucking NASCAR drivers who are going to do the Xbox One. This is quite good because this will cause competition. Competition is always good for the industry. I think that this is going to be great because it is a case of, do we use more raw power or do you use more sensible power? And I think some people are going to go for the raw power, and we're going to see some fucking fun things come out of those. And then other people are going to be going for the more sensible kind of balanced approach. It's really weird because if you look at the PlayStation, is Japanese culture, and the Xbox is American culture, and they've actually managed to put it into a fucking box, which is great. As I said, one person's going to do it NASCAR style, the other person's going to do it Formula One style.
Xbox is NASCAR, brute force, whoa, muscle.
And
I think it's going to make.
Only one is not. It's F1, isn't it? A little bit more.
and I'll be honest with you, there's nothing wrong with NASCAR. I do like watching a few NASCAR crashes. That's an awful thing to say. They are just a quick one. I do think they're all going to have game DVRs built in, which they haven't got on this list.
You've just mentioned something which is actually rather appropriate for talking of NASCAR and F1, because now it's increasingly looking like the seasons are off. Have you heard what they're doing?
What are they doing?
They are doing esports events. So basically, they're going to bung all the Formula One cars, Formula One drivers driving in esports events from home, and NASCAR apparently are following suit. So it's going to be interesting watching, Formula One drivers on basically PS4 driving. All I've heard is esports. That F1 are doing an esports event.
So the Gran Turismo version.
That's what I was thinking. Gran Turismo.
I'm going to watch
Sport, wasn't it?
Okay, all right.
They use that. I think if you look at the actual, where is it, esports, where they do this, and they actually have the full-on steering wheel seat, pedals, a lot of gears, and they have competitions. And there was a competition ran last year where it whittled it down to the last 5, and the winner actually got a seat in an F1 team or Formula 3. It might be Formula 3, but the winner actually then go in there, because it is if you get the setup right and the game is good enough, like Gran Turismo is, then it can be quite realistic. So I can see why they plan to do it. It's not quite the same, but
it's interesting. Okay, to move on to the next one. There's nothing wrong with Richmond sausages, Gavin. All right, and hello, woman.
Just before we move from PS5 and Xbox One, what I want to say is, let's not. I don't really fancy another. Our console's better than your console war this year. It absolutely does not matter. If you enjoy the exclusives on one console,
it's the software.
Just not get on with it.
Nigel, in fairness, that argument didn't exist really. When the PS4
between
came
the
out.
fanboys.
Yeah, it did for the first 18 months.
Yeah, but
mate,
they shut the fuck up very quickly because the PS4 was just infinitely better.
Oh no, I've already seen I've already seen it where when people are posting articles on these two.
Yeah, but
you get the dickheads going in.
But I'll be honest.
But this is closer.
I'll be honest with you, Nige. I would rather people come into conflict over things like this, where they've got a bit of passion about something that they believe in and they like, than we get stupid things like our next segment.
Yeah.
Because these things, oh my god! All right, okay. So I
thought this was a joke.
I thought this is a joke too. I'm waiting for someone to come out and tell me this is a joke. Let's start off with a little primer. Comic books and superheroes are our modern day gods, like the gods of Greece and the gods of the Nordic countries in Scandinavia and the gods of Egypt and stuff. They're supposed to be paragons, things, people to look up to, people who do grand and great things. Yeah, if you
have cool names.
And have cool names too. If you look at characters like the Flash is literally a direct copy of Hermes. Yeah, Superman is Apollo. Diane is not Diane. Wonder Woman is Artemis, the huntress.
Who's Hercules?
Hercules.
Yeah, in comics, who's Hercules?
Oh, fuck. I think there is Hercules actually in both sets of comics.
Is that Juggernaut or no? Not Juggernaut.
No, Juggernaut's not. But the long and short of it is they come from those sort of characters. It's like Loki and bloody Thor. Yeah, the direct gods just lifted from the Norse pantheon.
Let's do a comic about them.
And they're supposed to be these people who are something beyond. Okay. All right, there's your primer. That's how I believe comics are. Now here comes the fun thing. Back in the 90s, there was a comic book series called The New Warriors, and I knew nothing about them. The only thing I knew about The New Warriors is they were responsible for the Civil War event, which put in the Hero Registration Act, I don't say the Mutant Registration Act then, because they fucked up something at a school. And that's all I knew about them. Apparently, they're being brought back in spectacular fashion. I just need to find my maps. So this is the cover. So here at the top of the thing, you've got the Warriors from the 90s. And I can't name a single bloody one. I should know this one and I should know that one, but I don't, because this one used to hang around with Spider-Man and Iceman. And this one here was a skateboarder with blades in his arms who had some fun with the Punisher. And they're the only two I even know something slightly about. And
I think the one in the middle is Woke Dude, isn't it?
Oh, right, no. These ones are fine. It's these ones down here. These ones down here are the new Warriors. And look at this lovely couple here. Oh, aren't they sweet?
No.
The blue and pink one.
It's the blue one.
Right,
the
Keith,
blue one.
Keith, there's a setup for this, yeah? They're a lovely couple there with and you know, that's the kind of thing that you get with Cyclops and Jean Grey, yeah? Yeah? They look like they're probably banging on the sly. Okay, so here are the old Warriors, and this one's something like Firestar or something or other, and I can't fucking remember. So we've got our new Warriors. So the first on our list of new Warriors is a character called Screen Time. Right? When you hear his origin story, you go, "Oh fuck, what were you thinking?" So Screen Time is a young man who's constantly wired into the internet. Now, being constantly wired into the internet, one is not a very good thing. You've seen the shit on Twitter, yeah. There's tons of fucking porn, shall we say, on the internet. So he's probably got a window open constantly with porn going on.
He's corrupted.
Now, this is a meme-obsessed super teen whose brain became connected to the internet after being exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas.
Oh my god!
I hadn't read this one.
Did you not read this one? I thought a mobile phone exploded and hit him in the head. I thought that seriously a mobile phone had embedded himself in his head or something. But he looks like Ben 10. He looks like a Ben 10 ripoff.
He does.
All I can say is thank God Stan Lee is not with us anymore because he's turning in his grave over this.
Oh, I'm going to fit fucking copper wires to him and use them as a generator. Because I swear to God, that's how we're going to get our free electricity.
Do you think this kid can help Keith get good internet?
Oh, he'd have to break out his experimental internet gas.
Keith's got enough of that of his own.
Okay, all right. So, we've got that. And
This
is the one that everyone's freaking out over. I don't think this is the funniest one. The funniest one's the last one, and I'll get to that.
Yeah.
This is Snowflake and Safe Space. Psychic twins. All twins are psychic. But we're psychic. Fucking hell. Snowflake is a cryokinetic. I like the term cryokinetic, like pyrokinetic. Awesome. She can materialize snowflake-shaped shurikens and throw projectiles. Safe Space can materialize pink force fields, but he can't inhabit them himself. He's just going to die on the first mission. He come up against the Punisher, bang, game over.
You said she when you said
no. Hang on a second. Hold on a second. All right. Right. So
Snowflake is a girl.
No, he's right.
No.
Snowflake is not a girl. Snowflake is non-binary because that's the shit we deal with in these days.
Snowflake is a they, Nigel. Snowflake, even though she's illustrated as a girl, she is a girl, got boobs, non-binary.
Right.
Funny how 90% of non-binary people are female. Just saying.
90% of non-binary people are extremely fucking irritating and need to be thrown into the mouth of a volcano.
How do you know that someone's non-binary? Don't worry. They'll tell you.
That's fucking true.
That's so true.
It's just like vegans.
It's so true. No,
Right.
You see,
You can be talking about the cat. Oh, they'll drop in at their fucking non-binary.
All right. Now, just quickly. Hang on a second. Can I scroll back up to here? Yeah. That there. That's
picture.
Not right.
If they are twins, why are they holding themselves so seductively?
Looks like she's reaching for his crutch, and he looks like he's reaching for her ass. Trey, they arse. Oh, the world's gone fucking mad.
Was this drawn by a hillbilly?
this is not drawn by a hillbilly. This is drawn by one of these really annoying people who came up with a comic book of Santa's husband, and that's why he got the job because he.
The video that introduces this, the Marvel guy thinks he's so clever because he's using words that I use derogatory and people ripping the piss out on Facebook, and we're using them in a way where we're owning it. It's just like, mate, how stupid are you?
Okay, hang on a second. This is the thing that gives me safe space. The guy in pink and booty shorts, as I call them.
Booty shorts, yeah.
Safe space is a big, burly, sort of stereotypical jock.
Bullshit.
No, he's not. That's a fucking weirdo.
No stereotypical. They can't say he's a stereotypical jock because he's not wearing anything like what they would wear.
He's in pink and he has got nothing between his legs.
Moon boots.
Yeah, he hasn't.
If you're going to be wearing those type of shorts, trust me, you're going to see a package.
You want to be smuggling a salami, not a fucking pepperami. All right, that's the truth.
It's a bit of an animal.
Anything. He looks like he's smuggling a fucking camel toe. That's what he looks like.
He might be. She might be the one with the willy.
Yeah. Well, they're non-binary.
Well, she's non-binary. He's a he, apparently. And then we've got B negative.
Like us today.
This is like the shit that you came up with as a kid because you thought you were being edgy and cool. B negative is just a Michael Morbius ripoff, and apparently he may have got his blood transfusion from as a baby from Michael Morbius. So he hasn't even bothered to come up with a new character. He's just copy and pasted something else. Yeah. Let's skip past this one. This is the one here. This is the one. Remember what I said about superheroes and the modern gods, and they should be the paragons, and they should be the things that you're kind of looking to achieve.
Oi! Buddha was a god. Be careful.
I'm talking about the ones that had proper fights. Buddha, when was the last fight Buddha had? He lost it, I imagine.
I have loads of Thai people that come up and rub my belly because they think they're going to get lucky. I'm not fucking lying.
No, okay, so. All right, this is Trailblazer. Now, I think that there was a problem with the concept of
Trailblazer. What's she trailblazing away to the bridge?
Trailblazing her way to the nearest buffet. Right. Salad Dodger would have been a better name, actually. You throw a salad at her, she could just...
Look, the bad guys are getting away. Trailblazer says, "Don't worry, I'll catch him." Ow! Pulls out a mobility scooter from her arm.
Right, okay. So just remember this picture as I scroll up back to the thing, yeah? Right, one, she's fucking hideously ugly in this picture. All right?
Yeah, they didn't pick a good one, did they?
She is fucking ugly as she's
What's with the open mouth looking like she's waiting to put a burger
lips.
in?
They're not. That's not an open mouth. They're lips, mate.
Are they lips?
They're lips. Okay. Now she looks Native American in this, doesn't she?
A bit, yeah.
Isn't she?
Right. No, I think that she was going to originally be Native American, and then they went, "Oh no, you can't do that," and then they coloured her black to make her black.
I heard she is Native American. I've heard she is Native American.
American?
That's what they've been. Yeah, I've heard she is. Yeah.
But nothing to say that whatever she is.
And some Native Americans are quite dark.
Okay, well, this I think
the two pictures don't match. To be honest, the two.
No, they don't. But
they don't. This is why I think
they'll be done by two different artists, probably.
This is why I think that there was a changeover. I think one person got was told one brief, and one person was told another brief, and that's what caused the disparity between the pictures.
The Marvel video online, she's meant to be Native American, apparently.
I'm sure, not in the Marvel video online. I watched that. Nothing about it.
I'm sure it was Marvel, or was it the live stream? I've seen it in something where they say that she's Native American.
No, I think
could be wrong.
They skipped over it. The long and short of it is
other than being the most awesome and excellent person at a buffet, what's her powers?
Right, her powers.
Her backpack.
Oh, don't ruin it! I've got a story.
Have you?
Yes, the
Take
story.
that back. Take that back.
Take it back. All right. Okay. This Dora the Explorer motherfucking ripoff. Yeah. She has the power to store
Yeah.
as much food from buffets into her backpack as possible. she has the power of diabetes and asthma.
Do you know? Do you know my kids sometimes say, "Let the power of diabetes compel you." I don't know where they got that from.
Right, that's right. Okay, so this is the thing that gets me because I'm reading it. She's a regular kid that was scooped up into the world of teenage superheroing. Her magic backpack is actually a pocket dimension with seemingly infinite space, like a fucking TARDIS, to which she can pull all sorts of useful or random objects from. It's not always under her control, and she claims you got the power from gods, but not the gods you're thinking from God, but not the god you're thinking of. Oh yeah,
God of Thunder.
Maybe it was a god of thunder. This is the weird bit, right? She grew up in a group home and a foster kid who was volunteering at a senior centre when a mysterious threat shows up and Night Thrasher runs to the rescue. She got the backpack from her grandfather, it says. Or was that in the video? It must have been in the video. The long and the short of it is she's just nobody want no. That's not how. Goodbye, comic industry. You died. You died a long time ago, and your rotten corpse is just about to be fucking carted off to the graveyard because of this shit. I'm now going
to. The comic makes me cry. I was a comic collector for a very long time until I moved here, and I still dabble. But this is. I mean, if you hear about how the 4 or 5 big publishing firms are treating their customers, or the comic book shops, especially in the current climate, and to release something like this, I'm sorry. If this had been released a year ago, we would still be laughing and taking the piss out of it. But this is 2020, and everything that's woke is failing. It is only a matter of, why do you release this, you plonkers?
Yeah. This is. On the bright side, they're creating new characters. Yeah, because we're always getting pissed off the fact that they're hijacking original characters, gender swapping them, and it would never get gender swapped the other way. And it was really irritating. It sounds really odd, yeah? Ginger people were the biggest fucking casualty of race swapping. And I'm not joking. Go through comics and look at the ginger people and how they've fucking been race swapped out. It's ironic because ginger people... don't look at that story yet, guys. All right? Ginger people are the casualty of this.
I feel oppressed.
You are oppressed, mate. I'm afraid to say.
I think I should get on my woke horse and get on Twitter and fucking demand Marvel.
I want. I want my own comic. All right.
I've been woked.
I've been woke.
Hang on. Wasn't Jean Grey was a ginger?
Yes, she was a redhead. It's Mary Jane's the first casualty I can think of.
So was what's her face? Rogue. Although she then got the white streak in her hair. Rogue was a redhead. Rogue was a redhead and then got the white streak in her hair, but she was a redhead.
Yeah, but she hasn't been exterminated. Anyway, let's move on to the review section. Keith wants to talk about Westworld Season 3. Before you say anything, Keith, why? Why, goddammit? Why do you want to talk about this? Nobody's interested.
Because I think a lot of this is because of Season 2 and it switched people off. I found it quite interesting because I liked finally seeing the outside world. And I thought it was pretty cool. There were moments in it that were really cool. I quite enjoyed Aaron Paul in it. I thought it felt better than Season 3. It felt more interesting than Season 3. It's only the first Season 2. It's only the first episode, but I didn't find it as bad as Season 2. But as Nigel pointed out, you couldn't get much worse than Season 2. I do not like her. I don't like her in real life either. She keeps getting interviewed and she just needs to shut her mouth because, you know, her and Tessa Thompson are just not fucking clever. But it's interesting because people are complaining about it being woke, but they're saying that inside Tessa Thompson's character is Teddy. So it's a man inside, it's the man's brain inside, because she's now a robot or whatever you want to call her in this.
Remind me which one's Teddy.
Teddy was the bloke, was the cowboy, the one that had the love story in the first season with what's her face, Killer Terminator.
Is it the James Marsden character?
Yes, James Marsden character.
He grew old, and that's who we're following through the.
No, James Marsden is a robot. The old guy is still alive, but he's in a jail. We see that at the end of season 2. We haven't seen him in the first episode.
No, we haven't.
But they're saying that Teddy's inside Tessa Thompson. There he is now, but he wasn't in the first episode.
I didn't mind season 2 too much. I much prefer season 1. It has gone downhill, and it, in my opinion, this first episode, I was not enthralled with it in the slightest. I found bored.
I found it kind of cool because I knew immediately where it had been filmed because I recognised so many other locations because I've been there. You know, when you watch these sort of like futuristic worlds, you never know where they are. I know exactly where this is filmed. Hell, there's a scene when what's his face, Aaron Paul's character is talking on the phone to the app, and he's standing on a bridge. I did a YouTube video off that bridge. It's in Singapore. I know exactly where it is. And I was like, oh, that's Singapore. I did a YouTube video exactly in the same spot. I did a little vlog bit. I just found it interesting seeing the outside world. I think it might just go the same way as season 2, but I found it quite interesting. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as bad as any. It certainly wasn't as dull and as boring as any of the episodes of season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I what do you call it? I watched the Critical Drinkers review of it because I like watching Critical Drinkers.
I did as well.
And he brought up a point in it which I noticed where they didn't kill off the bad person for reasons. And I'm just like, it would have made more sense if they would have tried to kill her, figured she's a robot, deactivated her, dropped her on a pile, and then Aaron Paul's character picked her up, fixed her, and then realized, oh shit, I've just woken up the person who just wants to destroy everything. But
it's season 2 that made her the bad person. I mean, okay, she does shoot the creator through the head in season 1, but season 1 was going in a direction, and I think because season 1 was pre Harvey Weinstein, and season 2 was post Harvey Weinstein, and I think that had a big effect. Because you look at season 1 and season 2, you wouldn't believe it's written by the same people. You wouldn't.
Okay.
But I quite enjoyed this episode. But
I did enjoy season 2 was all right. I mean, where it was going behind the scenes a little bit more with how they get between parks and different areas. I quite like that bit. Story wise, not great. Season 1 was really very, very good. Set the bar so high. It was unless the only way for them to carry on the season 2 at the same level was to do the same as season 1 and keep everything at the same level. Whether that was storyline, the violence, the sex, or whatever, everything's got to be at the same.
I think the other part too is making us wait so fucking long.
How long ago
it was a 2-year gap, and they did the same with season 2 because season 2 was like a 2-year gap.
Making you wait 2 years, you lose interest. It rolls around at the same time. Like I'll give Death in Paradise rolls around beginning of the year. You watch it, really enjoy it. Get to the beginning of the year again. Oh, Death in Paradise will be back soon. Watch it, you get interested. But if you're sitting there and you've got this massive gap, everything's vying for your attention. Your phone is vying for your attention. Social media is vying for your attention. Games, other TV shows, all vying for your attention. And this then drops out of your consciousness. Why would you watch it? You have to then fucking advertise it like an entirely new series. It doesn't make any sense to me. They should have been better planning at this. But I've heard that it was popular because of it's not Chris Nolan. Who's the other Nolan?
Jonathan.
John Nolan. Yeah, who's Jonathan Nolan?
Jonathan, I think.
When it became popular, JJ decided to stick his fucking oar into it. And
but I mean,
apparently,
Nolan directed this episode, and you can tell. I'm intrigued by Aaron Paul's character, although I think he's going to be emasculated by female Terminator, at which point I'll just probably switch off. But I just found it interesting seeing the outside world, and that's what I enjoyed about it. There's a couple of interesting characters. Whether it goes bad or not, I don't know. If it goes like season 2, then no, because I didn't like season 2. I have to agree with Gav, as he's just put on the comments. I didn't think it was very good, really. I think it was a miles different to season 1.
This has gone miles different again. I'll watch maybe another 2, and I'll give it the 3. I know we've watched 2 series so far, but the series have been so different. I think that you've still got to use the 3-episode rule to make a judgment.
I thought we said the 3 seashells. Talking about shite. You could just
that's what everyone outside should be using right now. The 3 seashells. Don't you know how to use them? Why not, mate?
Okay. All right. Okay. That's.
I think if you're living in England, you need to learn how to use them.
It's right. If there was that swear machine, I think we'd all be fine. We'd have loads of paper.
Yes, true. Okay, so I, like a good chunk of the population, I've been playing Doom Eternal on the PS4. I decided on Friday, fuck it. Given the way the world is, I might not get a chance to actually go outside to buy this for a good 12 weeks. So I went, shit. So I popped down to Tesco's, grabbed a copy, to which the staff went, "Oh, Doom, that's appropriate." Thanks, you sucky bastards. And I popped it home, plugged it in, started playing, and love it. I absolutely fucking love it. It's really brutal. It's really visceral. There are a few problems with it. The first problem is that ammo is really bloody scarce. They want to encourage you to use all your additional weapons because you've got like a Predator-style shoulder-mounted cannon that you can use to attack enemies. Now, if you use the flamethrower and beat an enemy up, they drop armor. You can use a grenade to take them out. You can use ice bombs to freeze them and then take them out. And then you can also use a chainsaw if you're low on ammunition and cut them into shreds, which then refills the shoulder cannon, and then use the shoulder cannon to get the other stuff. And it's like it has like a weird pattern in it. So you've got to kind of figure out how to use it in conjunction with everything. I struggled with this at first because I was playing it like a Doom 2016 where you just run around, just go beat the shit out of it. Still, it's got that same satisfying gameplay. They've put some really horrible fucking jumping puzzles in there, which I hate them for because I just like blowing the shit out of things. It cheered me up no end. But the weapons on it feel very, very visceral. The super shotgun is fucking great. If you're getting close on anything, it usually takes about 3 shots max to kill it. You got the glory kills, so you can sit there and take them out, and then you're like stabbing them in the eye or cutting their heads off, or plastering with blade. Really, really good. I haven't touched the multiplayer. I've been winding my brother up, Duncan, about it because he kept on sending me, "Oh, Doom Eternal's coming out. It's really good. They're talking about Doom Eternal on Joe Rogan. Oh, it's really good. Are you going to buy it, Duncan?" I don't know. I'm hoping Alex will buy it, and then I can borrow it off of him, or he can come around and I can play it and watch. But it's fantastic, and I've really been enjoying the crap out of it.
Glad you like it.
That's good.
It does. It does look good. It is a good looking game considering it's running on PS4, Xbox One hardware. I think the Vulkan graphics API, I think is an API that they use, works really well. The creatures and stuff in it, it seems to give you something new to do every level. Well, 2 new things every level, and you've got your Fortress of Doom, which is a bit like the Temple of Doom and the Fortress of Solitude mixed together. And in there, you've got a load of stuff. You've got some weapon mods and bits that you can find. And there's a reference to something I found really fucking obnoxious in the previous Doom game was the Doom guy had a bunny rabbit that was killed by Hell. And it's one of the reasons he went after him in the second game. And that's a feature. And I was like, oh, fuck no. Because my brother was like, kind of, did you know the Doom guy's related to BJ Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein? I went, yeah, I knew that. I also knew that he had a rabbit that died in the second game, apparently. And that's one of the reasons he's so fucking angry. I just like the idea that it's just a regular Marine who fought Hell, got entombed, and then came back pissed, and being a kind of a regular Joe. But he's packing some big old muscles, and it's so good. And you guys need to give it a go if you get a chance. Even if you go back and play Doom 2016, because I think Doom 2016 is going to be PS Plus's game next month.
If that's true, I might play it. I think didn't I borrow that from you?
Yes, you did. You gave it back. You gave it back.
I gave it back. I did give it a go, and it's not really my sort of thing. It used to be, but I don't like playing that sort of game on the console. I don't like using controller for that.
I think it works fine on a console. It's
I'm mouse and keyboard sort of FPS. I don't like using controllers for that.
I can do both. I think
I can get by.
There's some advantages. There's some advantages of using it with a controller, and some advantages for using it with a keyboard. One is fucking RSI if you've got bad wrists like me, because you spent your entire life sitting at a desk getting fat.
Yep.
So the advantage of using a controller is that you're not having to use a fucking mouse. And not many people talk about that because they always want to be the PC master race and all that shit. But I love it. So yeah, it's a good game. Go buy it, guys. You'll enjoy the crap out of it.
I have to do it on a digital download. You can't go and buy it anywhere at the moment.
Can't you? No,
not allowed out.
Okay, you're not allowed out. I thought you were fine.
I don't think that can be considered an
essential purchase.
An essential purchase, yeah.
Did you not know that GameStop in America have forced employees to go in because they're considering themselves as essential purchases?
Yeah, but I mean, that was a few days ago, but I think haven't they?
I don't know if it's
closed all shops.
I think no. Hang on a second. I think they were forced to close by the authorities.
Probably were.
Yeah, Bangkok is shut down, and the 5 neighbouring provinces, our province, which technically is a neighbour to Bangkok, is apparently going to get hit tomorrow or the next day. But I haven't been going out because there is a perception here that Europeans bought the incident over. And when I walked into a shopping centre the other day to go to a supermarket, I didn't want to go and do anything else. I just needed to go and get some stuff because we couldn't get a Tesco's delivery here until Tuesday. But we've got that slot now, and that's our slot every week, which is useful. So I'm not panic buying. They had water. I bought four crates of water, which we go through a week anyway, because we don't have tap water that we can cook with here. So we've got that. But yeah, I got a picture taken of me as I walked into the shopping centre and a picture when I was taken out, and they weren't taking pictures of other people. And I later inquired why, and it was like if people were to get the incident, you know what I'm talking about, that I would be tracked down. It's like I've lived here for 3 years and I haven't left the country in over a year. Okay. I'm not bringing it to anyone, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm staying indoors now because I'm just not antagonizing it. So.
Okay. All right, Keith, you wanted to talk about Star Trek Picard.
Only because it's I mean, I didn't think it could get any dumber than it already had. But seriously, a fucking android doing a mind meld. How?
I don't think they understand. writers that don't understand how fucking science fiction works. Now, this is a funny thing, yeah. Science fiction can only be as clever as the writer is. Yeah, the cleverer the writer, the cleverer the science fiction can be. If they turned around and said it's not really mind melding, it's more like an MRI. Yeah, so imagine an MRI, and she's reading your thoughts and interpreting your thoughts using magnetic resonance through her hands. It's as close as an android can get to mind melding. I would have gone, oh, I'll buy it. But considering it's a psychic thing and it's an organic thing, and I don't seem to understand the difference between organic and mineral. And why is Soji organic and not a mineral one, like whatever the fuck evil
because she was an advancement on the other. I think the other one is more like Data, hence the shiny skin and the yellow eyes. And by the way, Noonien, yeah. I was going to say Noonien Soon did not have a child. In actual fact, his wife was an android. And I think they know that, because I think Noonien Soon's is actually Law, and they've just aged him, and it's a disguise. And next week you're going to find out it's not the son. I think, because I've expected all along that they were going to bring Law into this.
I don't think that's the case. I think they're too retarded to do that. I genuinely think they're that thick.
I mostly agree with you, but they seem to went out of their way not to mention Law. And bearing in mind that they pulled Bruce Maddox out.
I don't want to sound rude to you or anything. Yeah, they're after new viewers. Yeah, they're after people like Nige. I'm sorry to say no. Nige doesn't know who fucking Law is. All right, Nige doesn't watch stuff.
But that's
subverting expectations. Hang on a second. Hold on a second. It doesn't work. It's the Chekhov's gun rule. If you're gonna show a gun in Act 1, you make sure you fucking fire it by Act 3. Otherwise, the audience feel cheated. If you put it in there and never tell anyone that it's a data copy, yeah, it's going to make people go, oh. But the whole thing's retarded as it is. Ripping off Mass Effect is the first thing, yeah? Oh, you make synthetic life, all of a sudden these big boys turn up and wipe you out. And it's like, kind of, are they called the Reapers by any chance? I know it's going to be the Q Continuum, but Jesus Christ, what are you... I think that they had one story in mind. They started writing the one story. People watched it. They thought it was shit, and then they tried to write another story over the top of it and got it wrong. That's what I think it was.
I think it was partly because of, regardless of what they tell you, Star Trek Discovery Season 2 was such a failure. I don't think it had the viewing figures that they claim it did. So they got worried about Picard, because Picard was all the same aesthetics and stuff. What this is a piece of shit. I mean, it's not Star Trek. It has no... I'm sorry. Fucking droids do not, or droids, synths, or whatever you want to call them this week, do not do mind melds. And I agree with you, if they given some kind of scientific experiment. I still think it is Law. I do genuinely think it is. I think that's where they're going with it. It wouldn't surprise me if it's not, but I think they kind of went out of their way not to mention him. And it was kind of like they were doing it to such an extent that there was like this big red line go, we're not telling you about something. That's what the dialogue felt like. I could be wrong. But Noonen's... It's only because they seem to pride themselves on pulling out certain things from very obscure episodes. Okay, Bruce Maddox was arguably one of the most celebrated Next Gen episodes, but not a lot of people knew who he was. And they pull out other obscure facts from other episodes as well. It makes me think that is Law. But Q is meant to turn up in this episode. The final.
It is supposed to be the freaking Q Continuum who are going to be the what do you call it? Yeah. The race that's supposed to cause the issue, because I don't think they'll have the Reapers turn up. If they have giant squid-like or spider-like robotic creatures turn up at the end,
would you put it past Kurt? Would you put it past Kurtzman? He is the repurposer.
If he did that, I would contact EA, and I don't like EA. EA's been voted one of the worst companies ever. Yeah, I would contact EA and say, EA, they are ripping you off. Now they can fuck over. What's his name? Nasser Abdin, because he's a Kuwaiti citizen, not a US citizen. And then on top of that, the EA have got just as big fucking lawyers as CBS, maybe bigger. Yeah, and they would love to be getting some extra cash from somewhere because they always try and squeeze it out of you. Those freaking microtransactions.
That monastery that you see in episode 4, where they go to get Romulan Elrond. If I was New Line Cinema and Peter Jackson, I would be looking at that, because that was a blatant copy of Rivendell.
That doesn't quite work because it was put in the middle of Mexico. And Rivendell's definitely
not. I know what you mean, but when you see certain scenes of it, it was.
But it's not.
I mean, it's all repurposed, but it's all bullshit. I mean, what has that character actually done? He's done fuck all.
Yeah,
that character has no journey really. A character's done nothing. That character, we spent a whole episode going to get that character, and that character has done fuck all. He has failed to save Hugh. He hugs 7 of 9. What? It's bad, lazy, dumb writing. These people are not. How can you have so many people are involved in a production? How can they all go there and go, "We're making good television"? Because it's so dumb.
Right. It goes like this, yeah. They've hired for diversity reasons and not merit reasons. Because if they hired for merit reasons, you'd have big writers in it. I'd get fucking JMS on staff. I would go for trying getting fucking Stephen Moffat and Russell T Davies on the staff of my fucking Star Trek TV series, yeah. And if Patrick Stewart doesn't want to have the other people from Next Generation in there, and he doesn't want to be the same character that he was and everyone loved in the original series, I would tell him the following: fuck off. We're making it. It's going to be good. Now piss right off, because you're not wanted around here anymore. And there was something else, but my head got a little angry, and this shit needs to end.
I mean, this has done Patrick Stewart no good. I mean, a lot of the fans of the show are just like, "What have you done?" I mean, he obviously needs money. I mean, I can't think of anything else. But I am fed up of this Orange Man Brexit bad politics bullshit. These people know fuck all. I mean, and this week, the celebrities making, that video, Imagine, and sending it out to make us. These people have not got a fucking clue. You can sit in your house and do fuck all for the next 6 months and not worry about your bank balance. Piss off.
I would have preferred them to what's the one from Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, from Life of Brian. That would have made sense. Always on the bright side.
Nick Frost and Simon Pegg kind of got it right. Their thing was fucking jolly sight less pretentious and quite funny, because a lot of people have been sending out the meme, "Oh fuck it, I'm going down the Winchester and having a pint and waiting for this thing to all blow over." And so they made a video shot from both of their homes, and they said no, stay at home and wait for this whole thing. But it was very funny. And Doctor Who this week, I don't know if you've seen this because it only happened yesterday, but this was brilliant. So, what's his face? Talking of Mr. Moffat, he penned a 2-minute new introduction because they were doing an event on Twitter, I think, where they were watching the Day of the Doctor. So they did a new introduction, and it's what's his face? Who was the guy that played the Silurian, the Doctor? I've forgotten his name. Part of the Paternoster gang. The
lady.
The man. The Doctor. The Strax, right? So Strax has got a dull version of him. He's got a dull version of him, and he's obviously filmed from home, and he's going. It's on the camera, and then doing Strax's voice going like this. It's fucking hilarious. It's really very funny.
Well, it's good to have a sense of humor. Okay. Let's have a sense of humor, because we need some cheering up. So let's end on a positive note. This made my wife laugh very hard. Woman makes Pow Sonic birthday cake, but it ends up looking ruder than it should. So a woman shared her attempt at making a Sonic the Hedgehog themed birthday cake for her friend, and people were having lots of thoughts about it. So here's the cake. All right, hang on. This cake. It looks a little sad. All right, it looks very sad as a Sonic cake.
What a good attempt for a 5-year-old.
No, hang on a second. No. Any attempt is good. All right, but if you can laugh at yourself when you cock things up, that's even better. So for those, so she did the cake, and now I'm going to give you the big reveal.
It looks like a giant penis.
It looks like a giant fruit penis.
Watching too much.
Let's see if I can just get the image on its own. There you go. Much better view. You can see the whole thing there. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
But you have to appreciate the fact that someone cared enough to do this for someone else, even if it did look like a giant. Anyway,
Amazing.
I think that's where we should end it.
That's almost like penisception, isn't it? Like a penis on a penis.
Oh man. Yes, Gavin, that is one bad cake.
My God, I think my kids could make one better.
It's just the way things run. And on that note, I think it's time we say goodbye. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening, guys.
Yeah, it's a bye-bye for me. Stay safe wherever you are, guys.
It's goodbye for me. Stay isolated. Yeah. See you next time.
See you next time and stay sane.
Yeah, stay safe.
True. Bye-bye.